I sent the songs for Kendrick to Anthony.
I hope he do it. He don't take no money, do he? Why you don't want to do no feature? Real superstar call you for a song. Why wouldn't you do the song? We lit, nigga. We going #1 too. That's why them will never be bigger than Drake, ever in life.
Law reasons every day seem to lay the foundation for new strays fired at ATL's own gossip girl, Young Thug. Jeffrey has joked about juggernauts like Kendrick and Gucci, but instead of dropping a powerful First Day Out single, or even a Lucy, it's been more yapping than rapping. The conversation has turned to ratting, and now the West Coast is coming for podcast retaliation as people roast Young Thug for all the gossip he's been spreading. So let's break it all down. But first, hit that like and subscribe button with your thumb. Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, what a wild few days it's been. Young Thug has clearly been trying to tear down Gunna's career for the past 2 years because he feels like Gunna was a rat in the YSL trial. Now, we're not here to argue about who's a rat, who's a slat, or who's the cat in the hat, but all this rat talk has only boosted Gunna, giving him the exact opposite of the 6-9-9 effect. Meanwhile, Young Thug has been on a slump since he got out. He had all the buzz and love in the world. Fans were waiting for a massive comeback, and what we got has been underwhelming to say the least. The most exciting things coming out of Thug's camp, unfortunately, are leaked jail calls and alleged phone conversations between him, 21 Savage, his girlfriend Mariah the Scientist, and his team, where he's spilling tea on industry secrets. From streaming bots to paying $50,000 for Gunna to hit #1, calling Gucci Mane a soft, insulting his producer Weezy, calling the Migos a money-losing rap group, and most outrageous of all, claiming that Kendrick Lamar needs him for clout.
The songs for Kendrick. I sent the songs for Kendrick to Anthony, and he said he liked With the Racks the most.
He said he like it or Kendrick like it?
Bruh. He said Dot liked With the Racks the most. Like the timing that I sent them for him, he said he was gonna play it for him within the hour. Then he called me. He's like, yo, he likes the last one the most, which is With the Racks. And he was like, he just wanted to make sure like it's not gonna be like mad people on every song. With the Racks with Kendrick. Future Grocery Bag. Say again?
I hope he do it.
So do I. I mean, well, even if you don't get...
He don't take no money, do he?
No. He wouldn't do that. But think about it. He does so few verses. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not just doing verses. Like,
right. But that's
the only other person that gets a Kendrick verse is Baby King, and that's like his cousin or his nephew or something.
Right. He getting all the damn verses to this man. What the heck you doing, crazy? All that fake. I ain't getting no rapper song shit. I don't be liking them type nigga like that.
Why?
You nigga get too big. I don't want to do no feature. Why? Why you don't want to do no feature? Why wouldn't you want to do a feature for a superstar? Like you ain't like goddamn Street calling you for a song. You know, like
right.
You really got Lil Durk calling you for a song. Lil Baby, Durk, real superstar calling you for a song. Why wouldn't you do the song? We lit, nigga. We going #1 too. What you thinking? You know, it's just like I don't be understanding that type of shit. Supposed to be a nigga who blessing it. That's why them niggas will never be bigger than Drake ever in life. Put somebody on. It's okay to bring you a few hundred M's up, but who you help though? You ain't really help nobody. It's the saying. You did all that shit for nothing. You ain't help nobody then. You ain't really gaining no fans off of you. King ain't big. King love hell, man. He can't sell no ticket. Watch out. Like, man, watch out. I truly believe you do a song with me, Wham, Durk, Moneybag, Savage. I truly believe we'll have your ass dope, trending, like, cause it's gonna be like people in the real world fucking with you, not the goddamn, not the rap world. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be real players and cool bitches and players and like that with you. Them type of people ain't fuck with you. You gonna get like the real streets and the real people with you. You gonna get the East Coast for the East Coast ain't with you, bro. You really trying to keep all the blessings to yourself. You really trying to keep everything to yourself. You really sit in the studio and work on the album and don't put nobody on the album. Like, God damn, bro, you ain't gonna with nobody? You ain't gonna bless nobody? Bullshit King? Like,
this all goes back to when Young Thug was trying to sabotage Gunna's first album, From Behind Bars. And his grand plan was to drop his own album from jail, stacked with the biggest names in the game. He had 2 Drake features, 2 21 Savage features, Future, Lil Baby, Travis Scott, Lil Uzi. Basically anyone you could think of was on that project. And on top of that, he wanted Kendrick Lamar. But Kendrick isn't the type to just hand out a feature to anyone. It has to be quality and meaningful. In the end, Kendrick chose the right Atlanta artist to work with. Because imagine if his one verse for the year had gone to a rushed Young Thug record instead of a carefully crafted track with Future and Metro booming. The reality is the whole project felt rushed, it lacked quality, and Thug was simply mad that Kendrick didn't send him a verse back. On leaked calls, he's venting to his team, saying Kendrick will never be as big as Drake because he doesn't co-sign the next generation, doesn't do a lot of features, and doesn't flood Instagram with posts. But really, it just sounded like frustration over rejection more than any real critique.
Budden gonna do it right. Budden with everybody. You know how many niggas like Drake chain? How many can take care of their family because of Budden? Just like straight with you. Kendrick goddamn put it on. You're a superstar. You don't ran up you a few hundred M, but you ain't put nobody on though. You see what I'm saying? You ain't even put Keem on. Cause the shit him doing this ain't really doing that. You probably with me, Wham, Durk. Savvy, you probably with us. You probably calling us like, hey man, I want y'all young niggas on my album. I'm on some players this time around. I'm on some players. Like, come on man, goddamn. I don't know though. These niggas be crazy.
Right.
Hopefully he do the song though. If you don't, I ain't really giving no damn.
We'll still be good.
Yeah, over good. Continue being rap, man. You know what I'm saying? Continue being rap, man. Stay supportive.
Yeah.
Put my album cover or something, man. Stay supportive, man. All that. I ain't posting no pictures, 6 years shit, man. Watch out. Nigga don't care about all that shit, man. Nobody don't give no about none of that. I guarantee you, your first post you post, that motherfucker gonna do 1 million or 2 million likes. You can get out in the next 16 years. You not finna get on here and get no 100 million likes on your post. You not Kim Kardashian, man. So whatever you call yourself doing with your internet, and if you just want to prove like, oh, I won't be on the internet, what is that proving? What they do? What you do? Instagram is meant for pictures, man. Post your picture, bro. Or just delete your Instagram. I think it's the rarity, though.
So this is absolutely ridiculous, right? And it's left people in a frenzy. I've already made a full video breaking down all the leaked jail calls of Young Thug, so you can check that out. Maybe I'll drop a link in the top right corner of the screen, or you can find it in the description for the full front to back breakdown. But now we've got to talk about the aftermath, because even more of Thug's jail phone calls have leaked. And in these, he's dissing one of his closest friends, Lil Durk. Naturally, podcasters, Westcoast voices, and plenty of people who weren't too happy with Thug saying Kendrick would never be bigger than Drake have jumped into the conversation. Let's start with Glasses Malone, someone Kendrick has shouted out before, either during a Grammy acceptance speech or in his Apple Music interview. Glasses is from the West Coast, knows Kendrick personally, and has been fighting the good. Fight on Twitter, often blasting off at Drake's camp. For context, Glasses was signed to Cash Money around 2008 and even dropped a track called Haters that features what I think is Lil Wayne's best verse ever. And this was right around the same time Cash Money brought Drake on board. From then on, Glasses has always kind of pushed the idea that Drake isn't truly hip-hop, that he's a pop star, a great pop star, sure, but not a real rapper in the traditional sense. So when Young Thug tried to argue that Kendrick would never be bigger than Drake just because he doesn't hand out cosigns to street rappers like 21 Savage or Thug himself, Glasses stepped in to shut it down. He pointed out that Kendrick, him, and others who came up in their circle already have their own cultural cash, their own identity, and they don't need validation from street rappers to be respected. Thug had claimed that Kendrick only has the West Coast and the so-called hip-hop nerds, not the street guys or the lit women. But Glasses argued that Kendrick represents a completely different world and culture altogether, one that doesn't need to adopt Atlanta's style or politics just to be considered lit.
He wanted a feature. I'm explaining to Thug why that didn't matter. What you represent to Drake ain't what you represent to us. And you got to know that. Like, what you represent to Drake ain't what you represent to us. Don't none of us give two about no another street. I can't do no song with no in this business that's gonna give me cultural cachet.
But should we be shocked about Thug's attitude towards the situation? The nigga wear dresses, like a nigga who acting like a young lady in the situation and who wear dresses, like he act like a hoe in that situation. He didn't get his way. Now that nigga just saying bullshit.
But that was his private conversation. But just the thought, I'm just really being honest with why it's different for us, homie. Like, we don't need you for that. We don't need Wham for that. We don't need 21 for that. Like, and yes, I'm speaking for Dot. I'm speaking for J-Rock. I'm speaking for Q. I'm speaking for show. I'm speaking for all of us that really came up the hard way in the streets, that got our own reputation and our own cultural cachet. We don't need.
And Glasses emphasized that if anything, Kendrick working with Young Thug would actually take away from his credibility, because Young Thug's whole image has always been confusing, from wearing dresses to blurring the line between tough guy and troll. I mentioned this in my video yesterday. Since the start of his career, Thug's aesthetic and personality have been hard to pin down, which is why so many people initially compared him to 6ix6ix99. Fans never knew if he was really the hardcore street figure he portrayed or the dress-wearing, boundary-pushing artist who called his friends hubby. Instead of being viewed as a misunderstood creative, it often came across as trolling and contradiction. On one hand, he wanted to act like the toughest guy in the room, but on the other, he leaned into shock value that left fans confused. And while there's no denying the massive influence Young Thug eventually had on music and style, the way he carried himself early on, from disrespecting Lil Wayne's legacy to the way he's still disrespecting people today on these leaked jail calls, shows a pattern. Thug has always had this reputation for being fake, talking one way in public and another behind the scenes, constantly flip-flopping depending on who he's around.
It's actually, honestly, it's kind of like at the core of street urban culture, it's frowned upon because you wearing dresses. Don't get me wrong, the niggas who ain't tripping, that's getting high, that's partying, they gonna be like, oh, you got the Thug feature? That's solid, G, that's player. But at the essence of it, the solid stomp down, you know what I mean? They gonna be like, oh man, you fuck that nigga wearing that dress, man. They gonna be asking you if this nigga like men. You get what I'm saying? That sound bad?
And he emphasizes, like, it could all be a troll, Young Thug's whole gimmick, but if he were to do a song with Young Thug, people around him would be asking, like, yo, what's up with that guy, right? So unlike what Thug had said in terms of, like, Kendrick doing a song with him would boost Kendrick's street credibility, Glasses argues the opposite in that, you know, you were wearing dresses and stuff, right? It would look a little funny if we started collaborating with you.
I know for sure most of my homies don't think he was just trolling.
I don't know, man.
For sure he was trolling. He was trolling. He was attention seeking, man. Listen, I'm not gonna sit here and give you no reason of why that man put on a dress. I'm just saying that it was a troll move, and it broke him into the algorithm and that shit gets mentioned over and over. I'm not putting no pause shit on. I'm saying I'm saying that nigga did it for attention seeking.
I mean, he's a pause for sure.
You say he paused for sure? He paused?
Yeah, for sure he paused. I'm not saying he's a homosexual man. I'm telling you, he does 1,000 things as Paul.
Yeah, because
now is he trolling or not? I don't know. You know what I mean? That's the thing. I don't know. But if I did a song with Thug, that's what people would be asking me. They'd be asking me personally, like, what's up with him for real?
And he emphasizes essentially the way Drake might need a Young Thug to, you know, adopt that sound, that culture, that lingo into his music is not the same with a guy like Glasses or Kendrick, who come from a much different background.
I wouldn't have did a song with Thug
before the dress.
Yeah, maybe before the dress, but I don't know. I don't think we fit. I don't think everybody fit with what I do. I didn't think Drake fit with what I do. I don't think everybody fits with what I do. Hell, sometimes I used to be worried, do Dot fit with what I do?
So the dress just made you for sure, like, yeah.
Oh, that was it.
With that,
yeah,
confirmed it.
Sure.
And they said, oh, stilettos.
Once he wore that dress, it was like, no, I'm not playing none of his songs. I don't know what Thug was acting as.
He's acting like a gay man.
But again, it's not quite to. When I'm saying what I'm saying, I'm not putting Thug. Thug is he's a gifted, talented person. He is a tremendous talent. Like, what he does vocally as a rap artist is dope.
And he emphasizes that it could all just be a troll. Young Thug's entire gimmick. But if Kendrick were to do a song with him, people around Kendrick would be asking, yo, what's up with that guy? So unlike Thug's claim that collaborating with him would boost Kendrick's street credibility, Glasses argues the opposite, pointing out that with Thug's history of wearing dresses and leaning into shock value, it would actually make Kendrick look questionable if he started working with him.
Them conversations was private, and we all judging this man now off a private conversation, which is, to me, is out of pocket, because if we all start getting into our private conversations, ain't nobody, you know, everybody got something to say about somebody.
Oh, so if I tapped into your private conversations,
yeah, you probably would.
You know, I wouldn't fuck with you no more.
Right here, you wouldn't, but then if you keep reading or something, or
nah,
you like, oh no, I'm fucking my boy
if
right
I
here.
tapped into your private conversation right now, I wouldn't fuck with you no more. That's what you're saying.
No.
But that don't mean it's right.
Exactly, it's private.
It's a private conversation. We caught it, and he said what he said.
Oh no, now it's out there. Yeah, so
shame on
let's judge it for this private conversation.
Yeah, we gotta judge him.
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely shame on him. Shame on him. This is the reason why, hey Doc, can I get a drop? I'm like, no, like I get it because
he knows people are fake and talking behind his back. Like, and when you're weird, are weirdos.
You coming for me? You like, all right, now you want the feature? Because he had said something else while he was in there, or right when he first got out. He didn't understand why Dot used the Atlanta and the Not Like Us verse or whatever the case may be. And Doc, he be tapped in too, so it's probably some small little clip in the interview that he said something. Doc probably made his decision.
And he emphasizes that while Drake might need someone like Young Thug to adopt that sound, culture, and lingo into his music, it's not the same for a guy like Glasses or Kendrick, who come from a completely different background and don't rely on cosigns from street rappers to validate their artistry.
You know who P is.
Yeah.
Of him addressing a Young Thug.
Yeah.
There's been 900 Young Thug phone calls to be leaked.
Yes, it's crazy.
Boy, this guy was chatting. He didn't lift a weight.
Read.
He didn't pick up a book. He was on that phone. Word. He ain't do a push-up, not a calisthenic. He was
Bible
in
class?
there.
Nothing.
God damn it, he was talking.
Locked up for 2 years?
No, he was talking like he didn't know that the phone calls were recorded.
I can't believe that someone is just leaking all them shit.
Yeah, but and who's releasing it? Is it you think the prison system is releasing it?
Probably.
Listen, I heard somebody float another wild theory that was like, he know they recorded and
he did that on purpose.
They came up with some ill way for him to go tell a bunch of shit and not be, because in that one first video that came out, it was, don't tell nobody. I'll talk to y'all, but don't tell nobody. Mm-hmm. And now they got every phone call in the world of him talking about everybody's business that don't have nothing to do with nothing. He was telling Mariah the Scientist all the time.
I think.
So he left at the house. I guess he didn't want the police to know that he was in the spot. So he left at the spot.
You know you on a recorded call. Yo, go back to your cell, yo. Yo, go back to your cell, yo. What are you doing? So, and this is what y'all telling me, hey, street life.
Now on the opposite end, TDE affiliate Keem, not Baby Keem, but Keem, who was connected to Kendrick's former label, had a different perspective on the situation. He pointed out that these were private conversations Young Thug was having, whether with his friends or his girlfriend, and argued that we shouldn't necessarily hold him to everything he said in that context because it wasn't meant for the public. In Keem's view, Thug probably wouldn't have chosen to disrespect artists so openly if he knew those calls were gonna leak.
I'm in Atlanta, so I ain't all in the business, but however solid they thought Young Thug was, anytime you hear 21 name, this is for years now, it's been pretty solid. And I'm not saying that, listen, I don't know who's solid and who ain't. Like I keep saying, I'm a civilian, I'm minding my business. But if y'all gonna leak every damn call, no matter who's leaking it, they sound wild. I don't know if that was the point in them being leaked, but they do sound wild. I don't know if Gunna paid.
Does this fall into the statement that you said last pod, where it's like Thug career, Thug's brand is plummeting?
I mean, this is part of the reason why I feel that way. Not that it adds on. This existed last time we recorded. It's just coming out in mass. It just looks away. It's too much. It's too much gumbo that could go in the pot. It's too much of, hey, we ain't heard a slap from you and we keep hearing slaps from him. Did he contribute more than we know to your sound? Like it's like that. It's not just phone calls and street. It does have an impact musically and in business. Like he on there talking about business too. They got him now talking about Kendrick not clearing a verse for that album.
He wanted a Kendrick record, didn't get it,
and started listing all the reasons why Drake will always be bigger than Kendrick, because Drake will assist and lend a verse and clear it and yada yada yada. Kendrick found the right Atlanta album to just pop up on and clear the verse.
Yeah.
Can't knock him for his plan working. His plan worked. Yeah. I don't know if it works the same way if Like That is on the Thug album. Actually, it don't. It don't. I'm confident in saying that.
He's put a bunch of people on, so I don't even understand.
I mean, Drake put a lot of people on.
They both did.
He's saying to what degree?
There's not much information I would trust giving him. Let's see what else. I wouldn't tell him if I forgot to water the plant for a week. Or to talk like that.
And I get what Keem was saying, because it really is a crappy situation that Young Thug's entire private life while incarcerated has been leaked for the whole world to pick apart. And obviously when you're locked up, you're not in the best mental state. You're alone with your thoughts. You feel betrayed because one of your closest friends and artists just took a plea deal you view as ratting, the ultimate betrayal. And in that headspace, you're bound to be angry, vulnerable, and quick to shoot off at the mouth. So yes, anything said in those calls could be taken with a grain of salt given the circumstances. But the messed up part is that Kendrick was clearly someone Thug wanted to work with, someone he was looking forward to collaborating with, and the second Kendrick didn't like the song enough to give him a verse, Thug acted like a big baby and started making excuses, downplaying Kendrick's legacy just because he didn't get what he wanted. And Kendrick proved within 6 months of that phone call that he had no problem collaborating with Atlanta artists when it made sense. He did it with Future, and then again with Playboi Carti, even jumping on 3 songs from Carti's project. So it was never about Kendrick refusing features, it was about whether the song fit his vibe, whether he resonated with it in that moment. That's why I don't think Thug gets a pass just because he was in a bad headspace. Because that doesn't excuse crapping on half the industry. Even if there won't be physical consequences, the fallout is real. It's gonna be tough for Thug to find close collaborators after this. Even someone like Drake, who literally gave him $1 million when he came out of prison, has to feel conflicted when Thug is caught dissing Gucci Mane, the Migos, and Lil Durk, artists Drake has worked with for years. It exposes Thug's character. If you can have a long history of collaborating with these people, but still trash them behind their backs when you think no one is listening, it shows who you really are. Joe Budden hit the nail on the head pointing out that you're on a recorded jail phone call. Why are you doing all this gossiping? It's not like Thug was just talking about personal struggles. He was spilling industry tea left and right, from people using bots to QC being bought by Scooter Braun, to calling P from QC a rat, to dissing Gucci as soft and questioning why Lil Baby still rocks with him. All of it just came off extremely messy.
J3 said, yo, Thug sounds like a hater. Tell niggas how they was checking in though. By the way, he helped more people than the world will ever need to know, referring to Thugger when he said Kendrick never put anybody on. That's why you don't talk on monitored phone calls, kids. Y'all won't ever see my bro talking to the police, asking for their number in an interrogation room. Glasses Malone also had something to say about it. He tweeted some Kendrick bars from Squabble Up saying, "Hey Doc, can I get a drop?" I'm like, nah. Then he goes on to say, yo, they doing Thug bad, cuz. Not gonna lie, this shit cold. Funny, but cold. And as far as QC CEO P, he briefly changed his Instagram profile yesterday to Young Thug as a rat biting cheek.
And I get what Keem was saying, because it really is a crappy situation that Young Thug's entire private life while incarcerated has been leaked for the whole world to pick apart. And obviously when you're locked up, you're not in the best mental state. You're alone with your thoughts. You feel betrayed because one of your closest friends and artists just took a plea deal you view as ratting, the ultimate betrayal. And in that headspace, you're bound to be angry, vulnerable, and quick to shoot off at the mouth. So yes, anything said in those calls could be taken with a grain of salt given the circumstances. But the messed up part is that Kendrick was clearly someone Thug wanted to work with, someone he was looking forward to collaborating with. And the second Kendrick didn't like the song enough to give him a verse, Thug acted like a big baby and started making excuses, downplaying Kendrick's legacy just because he didn't get what he wanted. And Kendrick proved within 6 months of that phone call that he had no problem collaborating with Atlanta artists when it made sense. He did it with Future and then again with Playboi Carti, even jumping on 3 songs from Carti's project. So it was never about Kendrick refusing features, it was about whether the song fit his vibe, whether he resonated with it in that moment. That's why I don't think Thug gets a pass just because he was in a bad headspace. Because that doesn't excuse crapping on half the industry. Even if there won't be physical consequences, the fallout is real. It's going to be tough for Thug to find close collaborators after this. Even someone like Drake, who literally gave him $1 million when he came out of prison, has to feel conflicted when Thug is caught dissing Gucci Mane, the Migos, and Lil Durk, artists Drake has worked with for years. It exposes Thug's character. If you can have a long history of collaborating with these people, but still trash them behind their backs when you think no one is listening, it shows who you really are. Joe Budden hit the nail on the head pointing out that you're on a recorded jail phone call. Why are you doing all this gossiping? It's not like Thug was just talking about personal struggles. He was spilling industry tea left and right, from people using bots to QC being bought by Scooter Braun, to calling P from QC a rat, to dissing Gucci as soft and questioning why Lil Baby still rocks with him. All of it just came off extremely messy.
Fuck with the boy Durk. You fuck with the boy Durk. You need to make that nigga. You need to make that nigga. You know, I don't know. I did a lot of players for the boy too though. When the boy career went where it supposed to be, man, Pluto. I was really like locked in with him, like get really f***ing with him. But I don't know. He acting a little different. I don't like that, man.
What you mean?
Like I been sent him a few songs. He just like I know for sure going right up. He just goddamn taking their time, you know, nigga go to
Man,
bed 4-5 days,
Yeah.
8 days later, just like that little type shit. Like, man, you got going on, man. You done did too much shit for you, man. Watch out. He did that
Yeah,
Malaya
what
album,
shit
too. Yeah, I want them on Malaya album. Yeah. He sent a
On the
song
pump.
he sent a song for Malaya album. Yeah, he sent a song for it. Then goddamn, when it's time to clear the song, he don't clear the song, so the song didn't make the album. Like, look,
He ain't
like,
clear.
Man, didn't clear it. Didn't clear the song. Yeah, he did. He worked that one. Then you get on the internet, keep talking about thug, this and that, man. Cut that cap ass shit out, man.
And he emphasizes that on all these jail calls, 21 Savage has been quote-unquote solid. There was even a 30-minute call with 21 where he told Thug something I don't necessarily agree with. Basically, yo, you should just tell Gunna I'm not gonna call you a snitch publicly. I'll still stand by you, but I need 80% of all your music profits. You know, that doesn't sound right, but I do agree with 21 on one point. Lil Baby, Lil Durk, and others all started dissing Gunna before Thug himself ever said a word, which felt like jumping the gun. But everyone stressed they should have stayed quiet until Thug gave the green light on what narrative to push about Gunna, instead of freelancing their own takes. And Joe Budden made a sharp point too. Kendrick not hopping on that Thug album was probably the best decision he could have made. Think about it. If Kendrick's verse had landed on one of those rushed, sloppy Thug songs, would it really have hit as hard? Probably not. The track Kendrick actually chose had everything lined up. His verse, Future's hook, the hard-hitting production, even the sample. It was a full moment, not just a feature. That's why it worked, and why dodging Thug's tape ended up being the smarter move.